All right, here we go. And this is CSL Week 4, UBC versus University of Washington. And both these teams are coming in undefeated 3-0 and 3-0. I am Golgiap, and today I'm joined by a very special caster, Carlton. He's going to be making his introduction in CSL today. So, a warm welcome.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm Carlton, and I'm ready to cast this game. And what a game for my first cast.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of bias here. So apparently, I'm usually with Viv, who is from Arizona. So he usually cheers on for the Americans while I cheer on for Canada. But we have a full Canadian caster lineup today here. So hopefully we'll try to keep things unbiased. But we'll see how it happens.
I think both of these teams are really easy to cheer for because we have UBC, the defending champions, looking to hold on that title as the top dogs in the league. And then we have Washington, who are undefeated so far, looking to keep going on that undefeated streak against UBC. Both teams, very easy to cheer for, in my opinion. Yeah,
and Washington is kind of like the underdog, too, because in the last season, they had a pretty subpar performance. So now they're starting off, as strong as you can, 3-0. And they were actually cast on stream, I believe, last week against Victoria, when one of the most dominating series I've ever seen. So I'm very excited to see them play again. Kind of familiar with how these players play thanks to that game. So we'll see how they adjust to the new patch, because whenever a new patch happens, anything can happen because people are pretty unfamiliar what's going on. So
that's exactly what I'm hoping for this game. I'm certain both teams have to have a pocket strategy they're bringing in where they're going to try and catch the other team off guard with maybe a small change or a change that looks small in the patch notes the other team isn't ready for or doesn't know how to play against. One thing I do want to note is we did have a Beastmaster ban out pretty quick, and I know people have just been hating on that hero, saying it's ridiculous, it's unstoppable in lane, and obviously there it is, banned second for UBC.
Yeah, he was one of the heroes that was reworked this patch, and I actually have not seen him at all yet. Unfortunately, we are getting bans on the biggest change of the hero, I think, in this patch, which is Venomancer, Beastmaster, and Bane. Outside those heroes, like Morphling was hugely changed, but obviously he is not Captain's Mode because he was completely reworked. So those heroes are out of the pool, but there's still a lot more exciting things we can go for. But Night Stalker is nothing new here.
Oh, of course. This is such a popular hero. Early game presence, great stats, gives vision. It fits into almost any lineup. It's difficult to deal with. Yeah. I like it. I think it's a solid first pick. It doesn't really reveal much.
Yeah. He was nerfed slightly this patch, and I love the nerf they did on him because it's not only a nerf because he was obviously too strong, but it's kind of like one of those like flavor nerfs, and it makes sense. His day vision. He basically has night vision during day vision, as in he like only has like a very small ring of vision around him. Mm-hmm. And during night, he obviously has an insane night range. So he's like his vision is reversed basically, which is very flavorful and makes sense for Night Stalker. And we see Ice Frog whenever they try to balance Night Stalker, they don't nerf his night time because that's what he's supposed to be good at. They just constantly nerf his daytime until I think he becomes balanced enough that the downside of being in daytime is big enough that Night Stalker becomes a more of a pick that we see kind of often, but not too often.
I agree. I think that's kind of the whole way this patch was leaning, at least in my eyes, is that heroes were more streamlined, more put into their roles. Night Stalker, a hero that likes to stalk in the night, not in the day. Obviously, you see that with a bunch of other heroes. For example, if you want to look at some of the tiny changes, it made him feel more of like he's going to carry with his spells, and he's not going to be some weird hybrid. Sometimes he wants to hit people, sometimes he wants to cast spells. He's more of a get the game going, get that snowball rolling, and end the game quick. Don't bring it into the late game.
Speaking of that, Venomancer is the same way too.
Go for it. This is a very last patch draft, I feel like. Nothing too crazy just yet. Both teams are trying to get a feel.
Venge is new. Venge is actually quite strong this patch from what I've seen so far. The new Vengeance Aura change is quite insane.
Yeah, I'm very excited actually. Yeah. It's a crazy change actually. I'm really excited to see how it works out, and they UBC is valuing it as their first pick.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Vengeance Aura used to give a negative Vengeance Aura to whoever killed her. Now if anyone dies within your Vengeance Aura, as in your allies and within your Vengeance Aura, including yourself, it will make an untargetable illusion of that dead hero to chase after their killer. Kind of like the Terrorblade Reflection spell. And they do 100% damage, so it really hurts.
Definitely. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they want to do with it. And there's the Clockwork. Just a pain in the butt. Just like Night Stalker, 2 heroes in the early game. It's hard to deal with them because they're very likely going to kill you before you can kill them.
And late game,
don't
they
really
both provide
necessarily
vision.
need items right away. Lots of map presence.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Both also offer vision.
5
Bans coming out. There's the Bloodseeker.
And
Always
the-
a pain to play against.
Yeah, and the Shadow Fiend, I've seen picking up some more popularity with this new patch. Solo raises have been reducing damage, but if he lands double raise, he'll do like 10 more damage. If he lands triple raises, he does like, I think, like 120 more damage. So
I love that change, honestly. As we were just discussing earlier, it really feels like heroes are being put more decisively in their roles, and I like that. That was always been, since I started playing Dota 1, that was always such an interesting mechanic to me.
Yeah.
How raises worked with the set range AoE. I love how they're really enforcing, like, comboing the raises on the hero and rewarding players who are able to hit multiple raises.
yeah, so obviously the individual raises have been weakened, but combo has been strengthened. So basically, they are rewarding more skillful play, and
Of course.
discouraging playing Shadow Fiend the way that he's not meant to be played, which is just hitting people with the fire raise just to harass. Now you really gotta commit to those triple raises to get any good damage going.
And it really punishes heroes that want to get in melee range of Shadow Fiend, because if you get in range of his short range raise, chances are you're going to be in range of his mid range and his long range. So you really have to be careful when you want to go close to Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, you
It's
gotta all
very
in.
even though he's a ranged hero, it's very dangerous to get right up on him now.
Yeah, like if you definitely go against melee against Shadow Fiend, the worst thing to do is back off. If you go melee range, if you gotta just try to fight.
You gotta commit.
Yeah, you gotta commit. You gotta fight to the death, because if you run away, you're just going to die.
And I love that, because that is always how I've seen Shadow Fiend, or at least seen him in a long time in my head, is Shadow Fiend goes into a fight and he just fights, and he either wins or he dies. But he's not really a hero that can fight and get around. He's not the most mobile hero.
Yeah.
So usually if Shadow Fiend wants to fight someone, he has to commit to it, and I like these changes because they really enforce, if you want to fight him, you have to commit to it too, or else you're going to get punished if you're trying to run away.
By the way, have you seen the Vengeful Spirit deny bug? Because it could be relevant in this game because of a Venomancer.
I have not. What's the Vengeful Spirit deny bug?
Okay, so if anyone on Vengeful Spirit's team denies each other around the Vengeance Aura, the denied hero will come back to life and kill the hero that denied him. So we'll team kill each other.
I love that.
Yeah, so
I mean,
something to keep in
technically, the
mind.
spell is working as intended.
Yeah. So if you have a hero Venomous Guild and you're around Vengeful Spirit, you might not want to deny your carry, because your carry will come and kill you. Although
Oh my god,
it
I
counts
hope we
as 2
see it.
denies, because its teammates killing each other, right? But it's ridiculous.
And what we did with the Darkseer picked up, great synergy with Clockwork. Clockwork already is just, especially in the early game, if Clockwork gets on top of you, more often than not, you're going to die. If Clockwork gets on top of you with an Ion Shell, I mean, you can just go AFK, wait for your death timer. There's nothing to do there.
Yeah, and if you want to try to run away from Clockwork and he gets a surge, it's going to be pretty damn hard to run away from that.
A lot of synergy, but that both Darkseer and Clockwork aren't necessarily going to offer a lot of damage as the game gets later.
Very true.
Darkseer, a lot of utility, Clockwork, a lot of utility, control, and vision, not necessarily a lot of damage coming out. So I'm going to expect to see some high damage heroes coming out for UBC's last 2 picks here. Obviously, Vengeful Aura, or Vengeful Spirit rather, offers a ton of team damage with the Aura, and I'm not 100% familiar with the new talents, but I know with her old talents it was easy to get damage on her. You can clearly see the synergy on UBC here. If a team fight goes as intended, they're just going to cut through Washington with their AoE, their group up, their control, their burst, their mobility.
So from the initial patch, I think for me, Mirana seemed like one of the stronger heroes, because in 7.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, 7.06, when we came from there, Mirana was one of the best, if not the best, range right-click carries in the game. And in this patch, she wasn't nerfed, but instead she got actually a pretty big buff here with the triple leap. Before, when you gank Mirana, like as a Clockwork, for example, you gank her, she leaps out. You gank her again before the leaf cooldown happens, because the cooldown level 1 is insanely long. But now you can't do that anymore.
It does make it very difficult to actually gank Mirana, like almost impossible, because like it'd be just like playing against Phoenix, playing like a Mirana. You get them to use their escape ability, and you have that window where they are vulnerable. 3 charges, I don't know. Good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck killing that hero.
You gotta force her out to like bait it out to use it in an offensive manner, maybe, and you can turn it. But like even then, yeah, you know, it's a really good spell. Of course, they did take away the attack speed it gives to her teammate. She still keeps it herself, but her teammates won't be getting that buff.
One thing I'd really like to point out, or one thing I really like about Washington's draft, is they picked Rubik. And earlier we were talking about how strong Clockwork is in the early game. By himself, Clockwork is a pain in the butt if he gets on top of you. With a Darkseer, in my opinion, is overkill, but it does pretty much secure. If Clockwork gets on top of you and he has a Darkseer nearby, you're going to die in the early game. Rubik almost single-handedly can save your life by grabbing Clockwork and throwing him out of the cogs. And that will, even with an Ion Shell, you know, that's putting, if it cuts down to it where Clockwork and Darkseer start working together, Rubik can just show up and press one button and ruin their entire gank. And I really like that, and hopefully, or I assume that's what we're going to see in this early game. Rubik does completely shut down Clockwork, throws him out of his cogs. If Clockwork wants to salvage that kill, he's going to need help from another player.
And of course, Rubik also got a pretty nice change this patch with the fact that he can switch his null field to be a negative magic resistant buff or around.
Love it. Is there any heroes on Washington's lineup you see that do a lot of magic damage?
Ember Spirit is pretty good candidate. Darkseer is. Clockwork happens.
There's the Meepo. Yes.
Yeah, I have not seen this hero in a while.
I'm excited for this series.
And there isn't actually an amazing way to deal with Meepo here. They have okay control, but they don't have amazing control here for the Meepo, nor do they have a lot of burst single target damage either. So Meepo might get carried away this game if he's allowed to farm in the early game.
Well, to counter that, if Meepo is dead, UBC doesn't really have a way to deal with Animage. They have a stun from Vengeful, but it's a projectile, so it can be dodged with Blink, as well as Ember Spirit. His root can be removed by Manta, which Animage buys almost every game. Yeah. So if Meepo's not able to put his nets on Animage, Animage is very likely not going to die.
That's a very good point. Also, from the few games I've seen in this patch, Ember Spirit seems to have repopularized the build for going melee hero now with the Battle Furies coming back, because Battle Fury was decently buffed. The cleave radius has been increased, and also the fact that Ember Spirit lost that 10% spell amp talent he had at level 10 is now at level 20. So the magic Ember isn't, I mean, it's not unviable, but it's not as strong as it was before, because before you got the level 10 talent and you could Veil of Discord and you did insane amount of damage.
I really like that change because I feel like Ember's a very high skill cap hero. He's a finesse hero. He's fun to watch. And in my opinion, I felt like the magic damage build just took a monopoly over how he was played. I felt like a lot of variety was taken away from the hero. Whereas years ago, before the magic damage build was in the game, you could see crazy stuff. Like I remember seeing Sumail go Blink Dagger on Ember, and I was like, what is he doing? And then he just made it work. And then there was Battle Fury, and there was Mjolnir, or not Mjolnir, but there was Lightning, and there was so many different ways people were playing him. And then it just felt like everyone was just building Veil. Let's go, magic damage.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with this.
Man,
I'm happy for the mystery.
At the start of 7.0, Ember, his level 10% spell amp talent was 15%? Like, that was insane. Level 10, 15% spell amp? Are you kidding me?
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to have some action bottom and potentially top. Easy invade.
Yep. Triple rune. And invasion is a lot easier now because you don't have to go so far into the enemy jungle to get the rune. It's just right outside the rivers. So contesting these bounty runes and stealing the runes away in the early game and just during laning phase became a lot easier.
Definitely. And he actually spot the ward, he just didn't see it, I think is what happened there.
Yeah. Ajax will want to tango that up.
Yeah, there it is. And honestly, I don't think that this tri-lane is going to be too effective unless they get some early kills.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Make me eat my words here. There's a double net. Trying to share the damage, sets them up for the double net. Enough damage to take down the tanky vampire. And there it is.
Yeah, really good start here.
That's exactly what they want to happen. I think if they let the Venomancer and the Night Stalker get a couple levels, they're going to be extremely hard to kill. Clockwork obviously wants to run in, but if both heroes tank the battery assault, they're going to be able to just beat Clockwork down. And Venomancer will be able to control them with slow, but obviously he wants to level those wards up.
Yeah, and very good job
And
by...
here's-
Yeah, there's another Battery Assault going out, another Arcane Bolt coming out. Here's the net too, minus armor going in too. Level 2 already on the Vengeful Spirit, and it's easy killing the Night Stalker without the armor.
That level 2, minus armor from Vengeful Aura, I think is excellent, because Night Stalker is such a hard hero to kill, but if he's going to go out of position like that, it lets them punish him. He has high base armor and high regen, but just having his armor reduced and being able to get stunned in front of the whole team, there's not, having high armor, having high regen is not going to be able to stop that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Meepo Net, I haven't never ever even seen a Meepo Net be so effective in the early game, but already it's
Yeah, honestly.
Has been on point with these nets so far.
Ruvik,
Yeah,
you
stealing
slick
away,
Magus.
He's going to take a little bit of harass though, but this should be worth it for the bounty.
Definitely. Well, Darkseer's not in lane. He's not getting XP, and that's not what he wants to be doing as an offlaner.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily need to be killing, but he needs to be getting farm.
And
Now he's just getting zone. He's spending as much time as his Night Stalker is outside of lane, but I'd rather have an unfarmed Night Stalker than an unfarmed Darkseer.
They're both racing towards the bounty, and L's going to lose that one. But as you said, this is all time away from lane for Rice, so
I think the real loser there is the Darkseer.
for sure. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage level 3, basically free farm here, 13 and 9 for Last Hits and Denies.
Anti-Mage free farm, never something you want to hear.
Definitely not. Actually, just played an Anti-Mage game before this game started, and yeah, I got a free lane as an Anti-Mage, and that game went pretty predictably, especially because enemy had a Storm Spirit.
Oh, perfect. How convenient.
Yeah, I
What
didn't
an
do
Anti-Mage
anything,
there.
right? Like, I just farmed, and my teammates are fighting, so I just blink in and ulti Storm and say, oh, thanks for a triple kill, guys. I'm gonna go back farming.
Standard Anti-Mage gameplay. Hit creeps, kill heroes, hit Ancient. Thank you. So what do you think about this Mirana versus Ember Spirit matchup? Do you think it favors either of them?
I think it favors Mirana slightly, because Mirana can easily position around Ember, and Ember's damage is all very melee, or quite close to him, because searing chains and stuff like so. If Tai Tai plays properly with those leaps, she should be able to stay mostly out of range of the damage range of Ember Spirit. And also, the fact that, Mirana's range means can lay a lot of harass down to Ember.
It is very hard to put Mirana in a position where she's actually in danger with how Leap works now.
Speaking of, in the mid lane, about to get a kill. Wow, they got a great arrow there. Ember Spirit again went in a little bit too close to melee range, ate about 3 auto attacks, ate these double star storm, and then followed up with an arrow. There was a lucky uphill miss, but wasn't enough because we were stunned by the arrow.
And we have Clockwork going top. Just looking for something to do. Uh-oh.
Nice
Battery
uphill
Assault
there.
is just such a powerful spell in the early game.
Yeah. But there's a Cogs coming out, and Talos is being trapped up here. Ehard coming in with that Wave of Terror, going to reduce their armor. And now All's being chased down a little bit, but he should be okay. A rough start for Washington here. 4-1.
It really just feels like the Clockwork's doing exactly what Clockwork needs to be doing. Getting on top of people, using Battery Assault. Hello, I'm Clockwork. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. And the fact that all these heroes start with a TP scroll now means that early rotations happen a lot more often.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Anything that speeds up the game. And Clockwork, there it is again, another Battery Assault. He is on top of the Vampire, though. Very hard hero to kill.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Rice doesn't have any mana to provide Iron Shell. If he did, it would be a pretty easy kill. But it doesn't matter. Ehard is here with the Arcane Bolt. And now Anti-Mage taking a lot of damage. Doesn't want to use the Blink. He's just going to walk out there. But he has a Self, so he should be able to continue farming.
So Night Stalker's really having a hard time getting into the game and coming online. It is nighttime, but he's only level 2.
Yeah.
That's 1 point hunter in the night. You can't really hunt with 1 point, regardless of if it's night or daytime.
Yeah, he would love to at the level 3. The 2 points to Void makes a huge difference in that slow being much longer, having higher damage gives you a better chase potential against the enemies.
Mhm,
They're
definitely.
going mid. Tai again,
Oh.
pressing the pace, and there's another successful arrow.
One shot, one kill. What's
Yeah.
up?
Using the haste rune to full effect there.
Love it.
Tai is
1v1 mid kills, I get so excited for those. It
Yeah.
just feels good.
I mean, it feels like really an outplay, right? Of course, we did talk
Mhm.
about the fact that there is a little bit of a
We're going to see
matchup.
Rubik's going to hold. Perfect timing on the Rubik's stun as soon as Surge ended.
The body blocks. Rice is trying to
Not quite
run.
enough, though.
Oh, and the
I think it
shrines are
might have been a
coming up.
misclick by Night Stalker to go into the air. I think Night Stalker might have wanted to body block there.
Yeah. You let him just slip away. Rice can go up to the shrine. Thankfully, that just happened as the shrines are coming up. So, gonna be able to hit that up, get healthy, go back into the lane, and Ion shell more creeps.
Unfortunate they missed that Darkseer kill. That really would have helped them get back into the game.
Yeah. Another interesting point is since the Iron Talon has been removed, Iron Talon, an item that carries went for a lot against Darkseer, just to be able to kill the creeps more easily with the Iron Shell. But now you can't do that anymore. Bot lane, there's roots coming out into the Venomancer, but Nico just getting slowed up a lot here by the wards and the poison. Talos Almighty wants to catch up, but he can't. But his supports are coming in the backline too. Tai throws out the arrow, he's going to miss, but Ku gets found, he gets lifted. He takes a huge amount of damage all of a sudden. Ehart now trying to turn on Ajax, but Ajax lands a slow. Do they have the damage to kill her before she gets out? Yes, they do. That's going to be 2 for none, and Washington really catching back here.
That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's just it seems it's not necessarily that I would say that UBC has a better start because they're a better team. I think they're just playing the early game better than Washington, but it's only 6 minutes in the game. I mean, this isn't a pub. I don't think GG is going to get called before the 10-minute mark. And they're going to play it out and we'll see how it goes.
Tower is under attack.
And Anti-Mage has been farming pretty well, so Washington have no problem taking this game late. Of course, you know, always gotta worry about Ember slash Meepo turning on late game, especially considering the fact that the Ember Spirit is most likely going to go melee build now. A Battle Fury Ember is something to be very scared of in the late game.
Definitely. There's not necessarily anything that he's countering hero-wise. Maybe, well, I guess Manta, but obviously Battle Fury, amazing farming item. It's going to keep him relevant because it'll amplify his ability to hit creeps.
Yeah. Mid lane now, Tai. Ooh, he just turns on Ku and he just dies. Talos Almighty lifts Big Bun and he's going to throw him away. Wow. I mean, that's the difference between a level 7 Mirana and level 3 Clockwork. You can't really tank the double Starstorm.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the bottom lane. Is if Clockwork gets on top of you, it sucks, but Clockwork's not invincible. It's just like when a Juggernaut spins on top of you. He's doing a lot of damage, but he can still die.
Yeah.
And if he's not going to be careful, you know, you get a little aggressive.
A little bit of damage going down on Tai in the mid lane, but it's going to be okay using that leap. Still has one charge of the leap left. So it should be a little bit safe here.
Night Stalker is stalking nearby, looking for something to do. Really having an issue getting into this early game, which is always frustrating to see because I've been there and I'm sure many of us have been there trying to play a roamer and you just can't get a break.
He finds a Darkseer though, but just not enough damage. Does steal away the bounty, but that is the first Knight used, and Night Stalker just 0, 3, and 0. No successful ganks for him. Not what you want to happen in the first night, but thankfully his mid has been doing incredibly well, so he should be able to still catch up.
What do you think about Night Stalker grabbing Crippling Fear at level 4 rather than going 202?
It really depends on the matchup, right? Usually I like to go 202, but maybe he's thinking of getting some ganks onto Big Bun on the Ember Spirit there.
Yeah.
Preventing the Activate Fire Remnant to be able to catch him. That's the only reason I can see why he would put the
I
points in
agree.
Crippling Fear.
Delay a surge on Darkseer, but I feel like Hunter in the Night might have been the better play.
It opens up more opportunities, basically, right?
If they're going to be killing this Ember Spirit, it's probably only going to happen if they hit an arrow.
Yeah. I think you're totally right.
Is anyone else doing anything interesting with their skills? It looks pretty standard.
Yeah.
Do have the level 4 wards for Venomancer, so we'll see that hero doing what it does best, being left alone because nobody wants to go to that disgusting lane filled with Plague Wards.
He's going to farm the lane, farm the jungle, and eventually take the towers. And he's going to be a very happy off-laner.
Of course.
There is a Moonlight Shadow coming out, plus a smoke.
I like it.
Washington is moving into the Radiant side
They
jungle.
want to make
wanna
something
find
happen.
Meepo.
Moonlight Shadow is going to go down in about 1 second.
They're
Smoke will
pinging
pop.
out the Meepo. Oh, but they sniff it out.
They
smell it.
see the Venomancer left lane. That hero doesn't ever leave lane.
Oh,
Low
Meepo
health,
was still
though.
gonna take it down. No!
Uh-oh.
Great cogs. But the ward
Mirana
won't
made
be
it
able
out,
to pick
too.
up Meepo. And Ko now, oh man, body
Our
blocking.
poor
balls.
Night Stalker can't get a break.
Yeah, and he got trapped between his own creeps and Clockwork, and now Big Bong Theory coming in with the Remnants. And can they get the stun? Yeah, and they get the stun.
Might
with
get the
cogs.
Vengeful. Vengeful gets dropped. Meantime, Darkseer versus Animage. One thing I want to point out, it seems this game that Darkseer and Venomancer are filling like almost the exact same role, but I feel like Venomancer is kind of just... It seems just better than Darkseer in so many
Yeah.
ways. They're both going to take a lot of farm. They're both going to be left alone in their lane. But Venomancer can do a lot with that farm right away and really pressure the tower, whereas I feel like Animage and Darkseer are kind of just going to go even
Mid
with
lane
each
and
other.
Arrow
but
lands
Animage-
Ember Spirit, and there's the Starstorm, and he's gonna be able to get that thanks to the safety Remnant, but he did take a massive amount of damage.
Yeah, he's going to have to play careful.
But yeah, no.
Oh, our poor boy, Night Stalker, bottom bounty.
And the nets are just enough to be able to take him down. Yeah, he seems
guy.
like a bad game for him.
Needs to keep that
stick
chin up.
even. Yeah, just boots on that Night Stalker. But yeah, as you were saying, that Venomancer definitely has more scaling potential, of course. Darkseer has the slight advantage when it comes to the initiation, but otherwise, even the laning phase, Venomancer is doing much better too.
Yeah, like look at this. Venomancer just taking a Meepo.
Yeah. Tai Tai almost gets there.
Might be able to pursue this. It's not impossible.
So many leaps. But the Meepo
See how it goes.
tanks the he tanks the arrow with a strong Meepo to make sure the weak Meepo doesn't get hit by it. But of course, that means those two
Wasn't-
Meepos are in big trouble.
Wasn't the prettiest kill, but the mid player got it. The Meepo died. You can't really be upset about that.
Dire's middle tower is under
You heard fine Ulls, but he's by himself and he doesn't have a lot of damage.
attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Ulls actually catching up in keeping up in levels quite well here.
About to be nighttime, and he's chasing. Maybe
Yeah.
seeing if his team will show up.
So that is the first tower being taken by Washington. And we see the net worth lead here. Huge for Washington. Anti-Mage, Venom, and Mirana all at the top here. Meepo following closely behind the Mirana. But mid tower
I'm
very
just
low.
excited for the... Oh, here we go mid.
Great smoke play here. Or actually, Moonlight Shadow rather. And Vengeful Spirit ventured out to drop a sentry ward and was met with a very terrible fate.
Didn't even get to play. Mid tower, no deny.
Get the last hit too. Now, slow coming out into Vengeful, Darkseer there, and then a silence from Night Stalker will make sure he doesn't surge away. Meanwhile, Meepo will be able to find the Anti-Mage, which is huge, but Ajax comes in with the Poison Nova. Meepo is going to turn around trying to fight Ajax, and Ajax is going to take him down. Ajax doesn't have the Venomous Scale to be able to supplement that damage. Now Meepo being lifted up, arrow misses, going to chase down Talos. Looks like Meepo is going to go all in here. Now Mirana getting netted up, but her
There
Starstorm
it
is
is.
going to be just enough to take him down.
Mirana had a double damage from when Vengeful was obliterated to when Meepo died. That is one of the most value double damages I've seen in a long time. And
Especially
she just...
in the early game.
Oh, that was insane. She was just chunking people.
Yeah. Usually, double damage rune, a little bit hard to capitalize in the early game. In the early game, the runes that does the most work are usually like Invis or Haste, but that was as effective as you can get a double damage rune to work because she took a tower with that too and killed Venge.
That felt
and
like a
then-
Storm Spirit with the regen rune. That was insane how much Mirana accomplished for that double damage.
Yeah, for sure. Talos does get his level 6 on the Rubik and he steals Surge. So maybe they can do something interesting with that for now.
Looks like Night Stalker might be getting gone on.
Yeah,
Or maybe
they're
they're just
looking at
setting
him.
up.
Level
He is
6 on
getting
Thur.
some XP now. I like seeing him do well. Lost a lot of raindrop charges to random harassment, though. Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Ku is looking for a hook shot here. He really wants it. But he currently doesn't have vision. They're waiting a lot to set up, but Els, I think, sniffs it out. He knows he's not safe there. He's going to be backing off. Ajax in the bot lane finds Big Bun Theory. Big Bun Theory shackles him up. And there is also a Blade Mail on him. Oh,
There's a diffusal picked up on Mirana, by the way.
yeah, that's a really quick diffusal. Ember Spirit is going to be forced to TP back to base. Not want to die to the poison, especially with the Anti Mage coming out. Now Tai Tai going in against the Meepo with the Diffusal Blade. The slow is going to be too much for the Meepo to be able to escape, and Meepo getting a terrible start right now. Has a Blink Dagger, but that's it right now. Working on a Diffusal of his own.
This Diffusal Blade is insane. It gets rid of Ember Spirit shield. It gets rid of
It
Dark
doesn't
Seer
purge anymore.
Surge. Oh, it doesn't purge anymore. Just kidding.
It
Welcome
just
to the new
slows
patch.
now. But it has no charges. Also, it can't be upgraded, but there is still the mana break. Yeah, it's weird because the ability is still called Purge, but it no longer purges. So they should change that.
Oh wow.
Radiant's bottom tower
Hook shot going to mid. Oh, but he's gonna peace out. Nope. He's just letting him know that he has hook shot.
So, what do you think about Night Stalker? Has been top this entire night so far, and I love seeing him get farm and get XP. But I almost feel like he might not want to be on the map.
Yeah, no, I agree. And he's with 30 seconds into left in the night rather, so he's not going to be able to do anything with the night left. I mean, of course, he has a darkness build pop if he needs to fight during the day, but he does finish up his urn. That is his first major item here. Now Rubik getting gone on. He
Some
was
action.
pinned. Big Bump here going
There's
in with the blade mail.
The Veil.
Going in, getting silenced by Alls. Alls is slowing up Big Bun. And now there's a vacuum on one. There is no wall yet. Arrow misses. Tai Tai coming in with that Starstorm. E-Heart is going to take a huge amount of damage. A Waifu Day commits to Mana Void and kills the Vengeful Spirit. Now Ko getting chased down. He doesn't have a chance. And a 3-4-0 rotation here. And beyond godlike for Tai Tai at 16 minutes. 10-0-4.
I love it. Night Stalker, I think, played that very well. Used his flying ability to get vision and stayed on the clockwork so that after his team cleaned everyone else up, they would have the clockwork kill as well, rather than having him overcommit to a hero that was definitely dead. Picked up 3 or 4 urn charges, used one there that fight as well. So he's back.
Yeah, he also silenced up the Vengeful Spirit before she got her Arcane missile off. So prevented that stun on like one carry. Now Big Bun Theory getting slowed down by Diffusal Blade, but he will be able to find the Remnant over the wall. Ku is coming in. Tai Tai is going to jump over the wall. It's going to be a-okay. Has another DD on him actually. And now Rice getting gone on. He's getting tossed about, but he has a surge to get out. Vengeful Spirit is coming in, but doesn't want to commit the missiles. So they have detector. They don't have detector, it seems like. But Tai Tai is going to be able to find, no, rather, Oz is going to be able to find that kill on Rice. Looks like with a urn charge there, and just more kills going over to Washington here, but at least they were able to save the Ember, which I think was their objective for that play.
Definitely. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage just hitting jungle creeps. Typical.
Typical. Typical anti-Mage team fight contribution. And he has, looks like a Yasha finish up on the Courier, so a 17-minute Battle Fury in Yasha. I would say that is a pretty damn good time.
I honestly feel like they're a little bit tripped up with how well their strategy is working. Oh, it looks like a fight's going on.
Tai Tai getting hook shot up. But he's going to have the triple leap out. Big Bun Theory uses the Blade Mail, but that one will still just hit him down anyways. He's slowed so much. He is crawling away, but he does have the Remnants left, so he's going to be able to get out. Everyone's solo. I don't think they can defend this tower against Ajax and his wards here.
I was going to say is I feel like Mirana was picked up to have some early and mid-game presence to make space for the Anti-Mage to farm. Mirana just went off and killed everybody, and now the Anti-Mage is ready to farm. He's got his Battle Fury ready, but the team's ready to start breaking their base.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
Anti-Mage's like, guys, stop playing so well.
Yeah. He's not even going to get a big part of this game.
I'm not going to be able to get my items up before we win the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Mirana wants to hit arrows and kill heroes, Mirana can hit arrows and kill heroes.
Alright, yeah. She can be whatever she wants to be. If she wants to be a murderer, that's what she's going to be.
Exactly. She makes space by killing everybody. You're welcome, Anti-Mage.
It's the greatest CC in the world, eh? You can't do anything
love
while
it.
you're dead. And it's a really long duration.
Yeah.
Apparently the CC can go up to like 60, 80 seconds sometimes. 120
Very
seconds.
well thought out, killing the enemy heroes in order to win the game.
Yeah. So let's see how this Meepo is doing. He is the only one above 8k over on UBC side, and he does have that Fusel Blade finished up, but that's it. Going for a E-Blade next with a very expensive build for the Meepo, but if there's any hero that can farm quickly, it is Meepo.
Yeah, Meepo can farm insanely fast. In fact, it's almost one of the weaknesses of the hero is that you can't share farm with your teammates.
For sure, yeah.
Because
he
you're just
takes
taking
over,
the whole map.
Yeah, takes over the jungles, takes over all 3 lanes, and yeah, Ember Spirit cries, hey, can you just leave something for me?
And I think that's one thing we're going to see with Darkseer. Darkseer is another hero known for taking a lot of farm and arguably not even being able to do too much with the farm. But with a Meepo and an Ember Spirit and a Darkseer, I think it's safe to argue that might be even a little bit too greedy. There's not necessarily enough farm for all three of those heroes at the same time.
Yeah, you're totally
Especially
right.
when they're in the position they're in now, where Mirana can run around and make all the space she wants for an anti-mage who, while farming, easily makes space himself.
Yeah, and Ember Spirit usually like to go a boost of travels first, but of course, with that kind of presence, the Meepo and his team wasn't able to go for that boost of travel. Instead, went for a defensive blade mail instead. Knowing that he won't be able to get a lot of farm with that boost of travel. But of course, he is getting it because the item is just way too good on Ember.
Yeah. I hope this blade mail works out, but I don't know. There's so much damage coming out. I feel like obviously you can see against heroes like Venomancer and Mirana, a lot of damage, especially Mirana's bursty, where the thought process for blade mail is. But put them together, I feel like Ember Spirit's going to die before this blade mail is able to accomplish too much.
They find the Meepo. They see the Blink Dagger. There's a double leap coming out, but no arrow's going to be committed. It's a Moonlight Shadow, but they're going to find the Sacrificial Vengeful Spirit. As good as it can get, I think, for UBC against Smoke Gank. Using your position 5 to sacrifice herself. That's kind of Vengeful Spirit's role, so...
I think Vengeful Spirit maybe could have got out if they didn't commit, but yeah, it did. They showed up, they missed a bunch of spells, and they still got away with the kill. As much as it's not what they wanted, with the amount of spells they missed and what they committed at the start of that Smoke Gank, getting a kill is completely fine.
UBC did take their first tower in the bot lane while that was happening, so it was a kind of an even-ish trade, but not if they lose the tier 2 tower in the mid. So Washington continue to push their map advantage.
Night Stalker chasing out the Ember Spirit with his silence, but to no avail. Protected the tower.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could have got down pretty easily, but now it's only at half health. Ember Spirit will probably have his presence a lot in this bot lane here, trying to push that tower down eventually. Especially with the boost of travel, is going to make it very easy to come in and out of this lane. Manta style already finished off for anti-mage now. He's accelerating incredibly fast. Going for the Abyssal Blade next makes sense when your team is doing well. A offensive item like Abyssal Blade is exactly what you're looking for. There's an arrow landed on the Meepo. Tai finds him. There's a Manta Cell going out, Diffusal Blade. But everyone is here. Ember Spirit with a triple Remnant is going to be able to burst down both of them. A disaster here for the Washington team. And that is 812 gold going for the Meepo just for the Mirana kill. In total, that was a 2k exchange for 2 heroes.
And that's what we were talking about from the draft. It's very clear what they want to do in a team fight. And when it happens... like that, it's just gonna be a lot of damage, a lot of area effect. It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be painful. They're gonna clean it right up.
Yeah, a little bit overzealous there for Washington. They're a little bit getting a little bit cocky with their advantage. Going only 2-man expedition into the enemy jungle might not be exactly what you're looking for. Mirana might be strong and do a lot of damage, but she is very squishy if you can lock her down.
Yes, definitely. And so what do you think about... oh, Ember had a Yule Scepter, but it looks like he's going to switch for a Radiance.
Alright, so we're not going to be seeing that physical damage Ember. We won't be going for the classic Magic Ember here with that Radiance. Of course, Radiance is one of the worst build-ups in the entire game, so he's going to be having a little bit of power dip here until he can get that finished.
Especially with the Blade Mail first. Not the greatest farming item in the world, but he does have Boots of Travel.
Yeah. But once he gets set up, he should be able to contribute a little bit more to these fights.
He might get caught out here.
Yeah, let's find
They found him.
Oh, did they actually
They
see
have the silence.
But there is the hook shot from Ko. And Battery Assault, and I don't think he really has a chance. Nobody.
The hunter becomes the hunted.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
There's a Moonlight Shadow too. Unfortunately, his teammates didn't TP in, so not a very good fight for him. A Fortify going out here for the tier 1. But that should be taken care of by Big Bun pretty soon. But there's a rotation coming here from Washington. And I think Big Bun Theory realizes this isn't very safe. So he's going to be cutting the lane as deep as possible before he probably Remnants out. He does have a Remnant, however. But there comes the Anti-Mage. He's burning the mana. He doesn't have mana for Activate Fire Remnant. So he actually is trapped here. Oh, no. I think he was distracted because as soon as you see Anti-Mage, he should activate Fire Remnant, but unfortunately got that mana burned out, so he had no escape.
Yeah, what a difficult place to be caught with no mana.
Now that opens
Looks
up
like
huge
movements
space.
being made with Ember Spirit being down.
Yeah.
I like this. I feel like Dire Team's ready to fight, and especially with an Ember Spirit down, I mean, it is obviously daytime. So Night Stalker isn't as potent as he'd like to be.
Oh, they find Mirana though with the hook shot and the nets coming out. That was Meepo revealing his E-Blade. But that is going to be at the price of Vengeful Spirit going down in their offlane. But very much worth it for the Mirana kill.
Top tower is under attack.
Mirana
meanwhile- while we
dominated. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, and teammate now getting caught in the mid lane. He's going to get netted up. And this Meepo is really turning on here. While we were not watching Meepo, he was been farming the whole time. He's actually caught up to second place. Now Big Bun Theory finds the Venomancer with the chains here. The ward's going to push him back. And then Meepo comes in with the net. He's going to go down. That poison isn't going to be enough to finish off anyone either. So suddenly the game looking like it actually might have a chance for UBC with this Meepo becoming so strong.
Mirana was just turning it on, taking everyone out. Mirana got caught, and all of a sudden, the power shifted. Now Meepo's the one running around, killing everyone Meepo sees.
Yeah, Meepo's at top of the net worth. He was like 5th place in the net worth earlier, but now at the top. Are you kidding me?
Love
He didn't
it.
get any kills either until just recently. Man, this is just the power of Meepo being able to farm the entire map. And he only was ganked once, and outside of that, like once he started farming, he only was ganked once. And when Mirana tried to go on him by herself and Rubik, that really gave him enough money to be able to jump ahead in the net worth here.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's a much more even battlefield now. We can see how the teams want to take it. A lot more strategy, and a lot less running around and killing people who are weaker than you.
Yeah. This is going to provide.
They just picked up on Meepo, which is
Yeah.
great. It's a battle-ready hero, low cooldowns.
For sure, and also the fact that, you know, just a slight bit of a misplay on Meepo can cost his entire life means that having the second chance of Aegis could mean the difference between winning a fight and losing it.
Yeah, and going through, you know, big spells like Venomancer ult, obviously. One of the best ways to take care of Meepo. They can only do it to one life,
Yeah.
either before or after. I'm expecting, from the Dire side, it's about to be night in 1 minute. I would expect them to push their lanes out and maybe go for a smoke, maybe a 4-player smoke with Anti-Mage split pushing, or a Moonlight Shadow even, to try and look for this Meepo or look for a pick off and set them back up,
Yeah, for
get them
sure.
that power back.
Don't want to go passive against a Meepo Ember Spirit team, because they'll
And their
probably
lanes
out-farm
are-
you.
Quite pushed in, which is uncommon to see against an Anti-Mage.
Yeah. They're trying to pressure the middle and bot here, Washington, while UBC is barreling down the top.
Go. Yeah, their lanes have recovered. I really would expect to see 4 of them group up and have Anti-Mage out on his own.
Yeah. Big Bun Theory TP's bot. Mirana is looking for him. There's the arrow coming out, but that isn't going to land. Oh, unless he walks into it, he's going to be okay though. Barely dodges that arrow, and he's just going to safely.
We have players
dodge
porting
away.
into the shrine, though.
And Ember Spirit still running away. He has a Remnant if he wants to activate it, but that is, I believe, at top. I actually don't know where that is. He actually don't let that expire. His teammates are backing him up, so he's not scared. And his about 600, 700 gold away from his Radiance. Yeah, this is the problem with Radiance. It takes you such a long time to get it, but thankfully his teammates making enough space for him to farm it. Big Bang Theory finds
Night
Night
Stalker
Stalker. Regeneration.
this
is
Mirana
really
goes
like
down.
Tai Tai. And Meepo going in uses a lot of nets. Tells the Mighty gets trapped in the cogs. It's a big hectic team fight going out. Poison Nova was committed, but the net is going to be able to keep Anti-Mage in place, but he's going to be able to Manta and blink out. It's going to be 2 for 0 exchange, still holding on to the Aegis as well.
Looking really good for Team Meepo.
Yeah, and the momentum can be really strong on Meepo's side too. The hero can take so much towers because, I mean, you have 5 heroes to hit towers with, and he is hitting really hard right now with the stat boost he's getting from the
Dyer's middle
E-Blade.
tower has fallen.
Yep, and just powerful death ball. That team, it's going to be, it's so difficult to deal with this Meepo with an Aegis. They really need Venomancer ult to take him down, and they can't Venomancer ult twice. And as much as Anti-Mage can cleave with auto attacks and does a lot of damage,
Arrow lands on Meepo
Anti-Mage-
with E-Blade to protect the stunned Meepo.
got the utility both aggressive and defensive use of E-Blade.
Owls is flying over. They want to
wanna
be able to get a
chase.
turn kill here.
They want to chase.
Owls is getting initiated on triple Remnant coming out. He's going to get blown up, and now Washington's got to run away. Here's a swap coming out. Tai gets stunned, but he's going to be okay. He finds the safety in his high ground, but Anti-Mage now uses the Manta. Crew getting blown up, and now Anti-Mage could be in trouble here. He gets the blink off, and now another Arcane Missile going out. Miranda gets stunned, but UBC has had enough. They're going to just take the tier 3.
Meepo's still alive.
Still
unlike the middle lane.
40 seconds left on the Aegis, but he's just going TP out and he's going to poof out to safety. Unless he gets bashed up. But Big Bang Theory is here protecting him, and now
random
he's
arrow.
for it. No, the arrow is going to hit the Darkseer, but he's too tanky for him to go on. Wow, what a difference here. Now, Washington, before they look like excess damage, now it looks like they can't kill anyone.
I misspoke there. I thought the Aegis got spent, but no. Meepo's still holding on to it.
Yeah, and that will
looking
be
very
replaying.
good. And the net worth isn't even that insane.
No. It's still 1k lead. I'm pretty sure that's going to stabilize once it updates. And there it goes. Oh, actually it's bouncing back and forth. So actually pretty even right now. I'm going to let me pull up that graph for you guys. Yeah, it's dead even at 0 net worth at 30 minutes and 50 seconds. So game is completely stabilized.
Missing some buildings. Dire mid lane.
Yeah,
so the Radiance still hasn't been actually oh, there it is on Ember Spirit.
Yeah, it's going to make a big difference in team fights.
Definitely. And I like just the medallion on the 5 Vengeful Spirit. Not a lot of money for items on this Vengeful. Done a lot of dying, done a lot of sacrificing. That's what a Vengeful does. Getting medallion is just a very valuable item.
Yeah.
You can use it defensively or aggressively, just like we see Meepo with that E-Blade, although E-Blade does have a bit of a bigger price tag on it than medallion. But I love the medallion pickup. I think it's such a great item on a 5 position. It's almost core. You can use it in every single game.
Yeah, speaking
so,
of
if you don't have a lot of money, I think that's probably one of the best things Vengeful could have spent it on.
For sure. And speaking of E-Blade, Meepo picks up his second one. Now he has 186 agility, which with the new change actually provides all of his Meepos with 11% move speed bonus.
I think Meepo may be able to break through backdoor protection.
Yeah, with all that agility, yeah, he attacks so fast.
I think he is over. Backdoor protections regenerate. We'll see soon enough. Maybe he knows too.
So they're trying to take their final outer tower here. Actually, not the final one. Wow, they have taken the tier 3 mid, but tier 2 standing in both bot and tower, bot and top. But bot, of course, not going to stand for too much longer. From Theory gets the last hit on that as well.
Animage's farm has really, it feels like it's just come to a halt.
Definitely.
A Basher into Abyssal Blade seemed not to work out. He was doing very well with there's the Black King bar, never mind.
Yeah. It's a build that's good when you're ahead, but he didn't anticipate how hard the UBC going to turn the game around.
Yeah, they just completely turned that around. Abyssal Blade, obviously, you're going to be wanting to fight heroes, not creeps with that pickup. He picked it up, and his team just started getting rolled. Miranda fell off, went from killing everyone to being killed by all of the Meepos. But they're making a play, trying to get back in the game. And the last fights, we saw Miranda get eliminated very quickly. And that's... we saw in the early game, Miranda's a huge part of the team, and if Miranda gets taken out right away, they're going to have a hard time fighting. So maybe they can have a better initiation this time around.
And it's time for Anti-Mage to take over the role of a carry here, and that BKB is going to help him a lot because he's getting shut down due to that net mostly, because he couldn't move in it. Now, when he uses a BKB, he'll have 10 seconds of free movement, and only thing that can stop him is the clockwork hookshot and just getting trapped in cogs.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully, I mean, Dire Team is ready to go. I think they just need a good initiation. They need to not get caught out and actually have a real fight, and they'll have a chance here.
For sure.
Rubik also has his Null Field starting to get leveled up, which has great synergy with Venomancer, high magic damage AoE hero, and helps deal with the Ember Spirit's AoE magic damage.
Very quick Roshan respawn, actually. He's going to be coming up in 3 seconds, and that Venom Ward is going to spawn out as soon as he spawns here. And there it is. Meepo just left as it spawns, so he did not get to see it.
Meepo's coming up top. Looks like they probably want to fight.
Washington
They
goes
know
in
the
against
shadow's up.
Vengeful.
Oh,
He
no.
doesn't get the kill on
Mana
Vengeful.
break.
He does use a BKB. Gonna chase him down. Gets the kill on it. Now turning on to the Meepo. But he's taking so much damage from just the right clicks. He needs to get out. And Tai Tai also in trouble. He used a BKB. Get out. Almost died to the right click again. And Ku getting turned on. But Ajax is the first one to die. Ku's probably going to bleed out to that poison. Now the Rubik's going to be in trouble. Gets chased by a Big Bun. A 2-for-2 exchange there. But a off lane and a poison fight. Actually, Big Bun finds Mirana as well. There comes the Blade Mail. She's going to kill herself on that. So, a huge fight here for UBC. They can take more towers or even take Roshan afterwards if they want to.
I mean, how do they, like, we mentioned this earlier, Anti-Mage is, the only way they're killing the Meepo is with Venomancer ult, maybe the Starstorm from Piranha, but Meepo's health pool is so high. Anti-Mage obviously does a lot of cleave damage, but Anti-Mage doesn't want to be on top of Meepo doing that cleave damage. You saw him even through BKB, his health just went straight down, there was nothing he could do. They need this Meepo to die. This Meepo has to get arrowed, this Meepo needs to be hit by everything and somehow not have everyone die.
Yeah.
Oh,
meanwhile, Anti-Mage finds Vengeful, and that wasn't worth it because he actually ties to the Meepo. Can't believe I missed that one, but that's going to let UBC turn it around. Actually, they won't be able to find the racks here, maybe even two. We're getting shackled up.
I think they're definitely going to get some buildings.
Yeah. UBC staying disciplined, not diving heroes, and focusing on the racks instead.
If you're going to defend, do it as a team.
There's a slow coming out from Veno, but Anti-Mage goes in, but he is very squishy against the Meepo, and that's a dieback.
Goes in and can't go out. 120 seconds, one lane left, and an Ancient.
There's a dust coming out to find the Moonlight Shadow. Tai Tai getting spotted out here. He has a BKB. He turns on a Meepo isn't around there, so he can safely stand and fight, but he's gonna call GG anyways. They know the Anti-Mage out, and then Meepo comes in. There's no way to stop this Meepo train.
No, they cannot deal with Meepo.
And there it is. First game going to UBC. Well, what do you think about that?
I like that we got to see a Meepo. We were talking about how we want to see something fun, something crazy. Meepo fits all those categories, although it was a little bit of a letdown because I wanted to see something crazy specific to this patch, and Meepo was more of a crazy phenomenon in Dota in general. I think one of the biggest problems that Dire Side has is their ability to stand their ground in a fight. Mirana did a great job killing heroes when people couldn't go near her, but as soon as health pools started getting large and heroes could get on top of the Mirana, she had to play back. She couldn't spend all the time dealing damage. And then we see the same thing with Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage, again, we mentioned it, has a lot of AoE damage. In theory, on paper, Anti-Mage should be good at dealing with that Meepo, but Anti-Mage BKB'd, he walked up to that Meepo and his health pool just went left real quick. I love the game. I love the back and forth, and I'm really excited for game 2. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I suppose them just ignoring the Meepo in the mid game was their big downfall there. Unfortunately, not being able to stem his insane amount of farm that he was getting. So probably maybe focus on maybe controlling up that safe laner, and also we might even see a Meepo ban coming out next game because
I wouldn't be surprised.
He really knew how to play the Meepo. Unfortunately, can't pronounce his name because I can't read Chinese.
Definitely, though. I mean, if we had 2 godlike streaks, but when it comes down to it, would you rather have a Meepo on a godlike streak on your team or a Mirana on a godlike streak on your team? I think
Meepo.
Many people are going to say Meepo there, and that's what we saw. Mirana did well. Meepo did a little bit better.
All right, we are going to be just right back as we get the lobby set up, and we'll catch you guys for game 2 between UBC and Washington.
If you guys want to participate in the Collegiate Star League's Discord, we have a server set up. If you want to do !Discord and chat, you will be hooked up with a link. On top of that, if you want to keep in contact, follow up with us, you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/CStarLeague, as well as twitter.com/CollegiateDota. And we can be found on Facebook as well at facebook.com/CStarLeague.
Check it.